Police responded to East Biddle Street early this morning. Once they got there, they found a 51-year-old man who had been shot. His injuries are non-life-threatening. According to Baltimore Police, at least 3 people have been killed this year and 13 have survived being shot.
Caller reports 3 males exited the barbershop. 1 male is wearing gray, was being chased by 2 males, were all black. Caller heard 3 gunshots.
First on Fox, surveillance video showing the seconds a man was shot and killed in South Baltimore. The suspects may be in custody, but the easy access to guns is something police and lawmakers can't seem to get under control. In the heart of Pigtown.
1 male is wearing gray, was being chased by 2 males, were all black. Caller heard 3 gunshots.
Baltimore Police responding to the city's 3rd homicide of the year, captured on this surveillance video.
They came in, they walked up to him, they put a gun to his head, and it didn't go off. So he hightailed it out of here.
The suspects can be seen giving chase, opening fire on a busy street. The evidence visible on this car, struck by a bullet.
Got down the street, and they was on them shooting, and they kept shooting. And they didn't stop shooting until they executed him.
Uncle Jeffrey works in the barbershop and knew the victim, telling Fox 45 he was a father of 6.
Injustice against him is injustice against all of us.
Baltimore Police delivering some sense of justice, capturing the suspects after a high-speed chase that led to 2 police vehicles crashing into each other. Fox 45 cameras captured the aftermath.
Slow it down. 2 suspects in custody. I repeat, slow it down.
While those 2 suspects may be in custody, whoever shot and killed 16-year-old Noah Gibson, the first homicide of 2024, still on the loose.
Nothing I talk about, not gonna bring my son back. I'm not gonna see that pretty smile. I'm not gonna see that again.
For this barber in Pigtown, the violence hitting a little too close to home.
They probably would have killed somebody else. There was people in here, you know, if he would have shot him, other people would have got shot. So we are very blessed and fortunate today.
And he's hoping lawmakers will do something to curb the gun violence in Baltimore City.
How are they getting in their hands? Where are they coming from? Why are they so easy access?
Meanwhile, in Annapolis, Attorney General Anthony Brown is proposing a law to go after gun makers. He plans to push for a public nuisance law holding gun makers responsible for gun crimes. Political analyst John Dede calling the move a distraction, which doesn't go after the real issue of gun violence.
It draws attention to the gun problem, but it doesn't solve the problem. That's an easy target to basically say, hey, we're going after this. No one's talking about, maximum sentences for carrying and things like that, and doing other penalties that would discourage gun use.
Dede says it's not likely the proposal will get any traction, and if it were to become law, it would be immediately challenged in court. State lawmakers are not just trying to tackle gun crime, but also an alarming spike in youth violence we saw across the state last year. At a Fox 45 roundtable earlier this week, top prosecutors stressed the urgency for lawmakers to act now.
Everybody is saying we must do something. And right now, the legislature, we're looking at you because you have the power to do something to make this right.
We represent the whole of Maryland, all the diversity that exists in Maryland. And to a person, everyone agrees that there are some significant issues in criminal justice and public safety.
I look at it as really a life or death issue. I look at it as an issue of whether or not a young person's going to end up behind bars or if they're going to end up, maybe taking the bar.
To see the full roundtable and more details on what exactly those prosecutors want to see changed at the state level, head to foxbaltimore.com. All of the public safety concerns comes as lawmakers are scrambling to find a solution to the state's looming budget crisis. With expensive education, infrastructure, and environmental plans on the way, Fox 45 is pressing lawmakers on if taxes will have to go up to fill that funding gap.
We are going to have to be fiscally prudent, and we're going to have to get back into the habit of really sharpening our pencils and prioritizing what matters most for the 6.5 million Marylanders that count on us.
Fox 45's Taylor Stewart is taking a closer look at that funding struggle and possible solutions from lawmakers.
I think that anything and any conversation around taxes people need to understand that my bar for that is very, very high.
But the conversation is apparently not off the table.
This economy has been stagnant for years. The tax base has not grown, and therefore it's simply difficult to balance.
Less than a week before unveiling his 2025 fiscal year budget, Governor Westmore not officially ruling out tax increases. The state is currently projected to have a $761 million deficit this budget year. Meantime, there's a growing list of expansive and expensive proposals, like the estimated annual $1 billion request from the Maryland Department of Environment to combat climate change, a multi-billion-dollar red line expansion, a new Center for Crime Intervention and Prevention. Meantime,
we're struggling with Kerwin.
Mounting pressure to help fund or scale back massive increases in education spending from the state's Kerwin plan.
Well, we will see additional cuts. And what we're hearing from state legislators right now, at least some of the leaders, let's say of the state senates, for instance, is that they are not interested right now in increasing taxes.
I don't see any need for wholesale tax increases in any way. I think there are a couple areas where we may have to look at special funds.
Senate President Bill Ferguson saying last week he doesn't see the need for wholesale tax increases. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, though, know how quickly that can change over the next 3 months.
I've been here long enough to know that sometimes in the middle of the session meal, your appetite changes and all of a sudden things pop up.
Governor Moore must present his budget Wednesday. Then it'll be up to the General Assembly to wrestle with the deficit and make some tough calls before it comes to the floor for a final vote.
This is not an election year for the members of the General Assembly. They were elected in 2022 to 4-year terms. So is it conceivable that they will ultimately decide to raise taxes? Yes.
Taylor Stewart, Fox 45 News.
Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost will be in Annapolis following every step of this year's legislative session over the next 3 months. You can watch all of her coverage on air and online at foxbaltimore.com.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.